stupid jazz to see this. It's just save you money.
Gotcha.
I promise you, you'll have forgotten about it by the morning.
Yeah, get a pizza instead.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, speaking of pizzas, I don't know what I'm going with that. I'm going to turn it over to just Johnny because you got to check out Shadow Tactics Blade of the Shogun.
Blades of the Shogun.
Oh,
There's more than one blade.
Oh, snap, man. We got blades all over them.
Except it's instead of blades, it's really one guy has some blades and another guy has some shuriken. And there's this old man. He has a rifle kind of thing.
Well, two of those are bladed at least. That technically counts.
Yeah, all right.
We got a technicality of blades.
So this is a isometric sort of, not top down. As I said, isometric. So it's kind of like that angled view, very pulled back away from the battlefield, where you are controlling multiple characters through these pretty much like Metal Gear Solid 2 style levels where you have to
on one screen.
It doesn't happen on one screen because the view is much more pulled back, and you have control over the camera as well as control over the unit itself. So you can sort of look ahead in the level, and you can see the enemy placements up ahead, and other things, but essentially you are trying to find a way to navigate through a particular level in order to achieve certain objectives tied to that mission, all the while trying to avoid detection and take out enemies along the way, so that it makes getting through the further parts of the level that much easier, because there's less enemies to accidentally alert and then consequently have to deal with.
When you alert them, do you get like that cool sound like you did in Metal Gear? Or do you get a cool sound?
You get a cool sound, yes.
Okay.
Not the same,
right.
but certainly cool.
Copyright infringement, yo.
Oh, it's very flavored in Japanese, Shogun sort of mystique and
Shogun
and stuff.
isn't the South African word?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to say, it is
Shogun
very much
assassin.
Japanese. There are samurai here and ninja.
All right. Next, you're gonna tell me bullfighting doesn't come from Britain.
Hate to break it to you, P, but
I say, dear boy, ole.
So, as I said, is primarily like the best way to describe it is a tactical stealth game. And unlike other stealth games, the bad ones, where if you navigate through a level and then you get detected, crap, you have to restart everything from the beginning again, because it's impossible to sort of unalert the enemies. In this one, you can
cooldown time. I remember. Don't quote me on this, but I think it was Narc, where it's like you go through the entire level, but the second anyone saw you, it's like, yeah. And then the screen just like faded to black, and immediately started you over.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything like that, so you can. Although the enemies, once you alert them, they are really smart, and they're smart from the get-go, and the game definitely makes sure that you understand the mechanics. Yeah, they'll patrol around.
Instead, they're just doing like really complex equations on chalkboards.
Well, what they'll do is they'll patrol around, but they won't patrol around as just one enemy. They'll actually patrol around as a group of enemies, and they'll also have a guard station. But instead of having one guard station, and you can see sort of like their view cone as they're turning around, they'll have two guards that are covering multiple angles of the same environment. So you really have to think about how you're going to engage them and take them out without being detected whatsoever. And because of that, you end up, you end up restarting more often than you'd like, but because of the difficulty that comes with what you have to do. It's not so much that you are restarting because the moment you get detected, you have to restart. It's if you get detected, you can run away, you can hide in a bush, or try to lose the enemies in the various means that you have available to you, like hide in a house or something like that. You can do those things and wait long enough, and then the enemies will reset. They think they lost you or you went away, and then you can try again.
What shot me?
Yeah.
Oh, must have been the wind.
Yeah. But
okay, so tell me about the gameplay then, because I'm hearing a lot about I can hide in the bush and stuff. But how are you actually doing all this stuff?
yeah,
You
so
played it on Steam.
I played it on PS4.
PS4. Oh.
PS4.
All right.
And I will say this: you do not want to play this with a controller. You do not want to play this on a console. And it comes down to just the controls. This game was definitely designed with PC first in mind. Not to say that they didn't do anything at all to accommodate for a console gameplay. Because you can look at the PC screenshots and look at console screenshots. They're very different. They changed up the UI. They changed up the controls and things like that.
It's necessary though, because on PC it would be like different blocks for you to choose versus on console you may have to pause to like swap out your weapons or change your loadouts basically.
Well, all right. So here's where the problems sort of come in on this game is that there's no turn-based sort of elements to this tactics game.
Well,
everything that you're going to do,
stealth game.
Well, everything that you do happens in real time, and there's most tactics games, even like Fallout, not Fallout Tactics, but like Fallout, the first-person shooter, has VATS, right, where you can sort of pause the action and then think about how you're going to engage, right? A lot of the RPGs, especially the PC-style RPGs, have that element to it, where you can.
Is an RPG, though.
What's that?
Fallout is an RPG.
Yeah. Fallout, Divinity,
RPG,
etc. You can pause the action, think about what you're going to do, and then say, okay, go. This one has a kind of like a pause mechanic, but it doesn't actually pause anything. It allows you to set up your characters, your team, and have them queue up in action. And then when you're ready, you hit a button, and all of your allies, your team members that you've queued up for actions, they sort of initiate those things at the same time. So you can kind of
like
set
Spectrum Warrior or something.
Yeah, it gets really in depth and really nuanced and in a good way of setting that up. But the problem is that you have to do that every single engagement, otherwise you're going to get caught because you don't have the ability to react as fast. And not having the ability to react as fast, it kind of comes down to console controls versus PC controls. PC, you can click a spot and the character will move to the spot. What you get,
console, your host.
Well, in console, it's the character's movement is based on the left thumbstick. So if as you're moving the thumbstick, you're moving the character. So you're in direct control of the character. And that's where the problem is.
Yeah, because what if you're eating pizza or something? Your fingers all greasy, you're sitting there, it's slipping and sliding and all this stuff. It's a damn shame. Yeah. What I want to know is, because it sounds like you had more of a time sneaking and then struggling and restarting than you did actual fun playing this game. Is it a thumbs up, thumbs down? Is it worth the time? Because, dude, I thought, talking to you beforehand, that you would be excited. Everything I'm getting is that you hated this.
I didn't hate it, but it's
okay. So Johnny loved it. Thank you for that. That's
well, all right. So I'm not recommending this for console at all. The controls are absolute. It's hard to get controls for a game of this complexity to work well on console. And
you want to play Fallout, man? It's okay to admit.
And it just doesn't work. The view is, you have to control the camera, you have to control the character at the same time, and there's no pausing of the action. So everything you're doing, you have to sort of time it and work in tandem with one another, or go the option of going overly crazy on the shadow mode or whatever it's called, where you can queue up the actions and time that correctly.
Is that like your same example? Is that like VATS, where you enter shadow mode and you select each of your target?
It's like VATS.
Okay, because you said that, and I assumed it was kind of like what was it? Batman Arkham Asylum, where you have like the bat vision, where it's like that just gives you insight into where everyone is, and you can play.
Well, you always have access to that information. So
you're always Batman.
Yeah, well, you can.
That's all you had to say, man.
You can play.
I'm always Batman, Adam.
You always have the Batman vision. You can place like markers throughout the level to sort of allow you to see what the enemy sees and know whether an enemy is going to be able to spot a certain area, as well as enemies that are coming in from very far away. You can kind of see their patrol lines if you set things up correctly. That's those things aren't problems. The problem is that when you're in this VATS-like mode, the enemies don't stop. Everything happens. They continue moving. So I'm gonna give this a thumbs down when it comes to console. When it comes to PC, it's still like there's problems with the camera, controlling the camera. It just doesn't work well. You don't have as exact control over it as you need. But because there's decoupling of moving the characters, it certainly handles significantly better on PC. But and I would recommend it for PC, but I primarily played this on PS4, and I cannot recommend this game. It's just too frustrating, way too hard for right off the get-go. And I play a lot of these styles of games. I'm not bad at these games. It's just this game was way too hard right from the very start, forcing you to use the only mechanic that actually makes it playable, which is that queuing up of actions, that shadow mode.
Admit, man, the kids these days just have it too easy.
Yeah.
Back when you had one life to go through an entire game, you couldn't get hit once, and it would take like 7 hours to beat in one sitting, and you can't save your progress. Just had to sit there. What if you had to go to church or something? You pause the game and hope the TV doesn't burn out. That's what you did. All right, that's what we grew up with. But now, the game is too hard. Don't buy it because it's challenging.
It's legitimately too hard.
I'm messing with it.
It took over 3 hours to beat the first level.
Over 3 hours.
Yeah, with lots of restarts. The game is available on PS4, Xbox One, Windows, Linux, Macintosh.
And don't get it on any of those.
You can get it on the PCs on Linux, Windows, Macintosh. It'll most likely play significantly better and easier on those.
All right.
And it's also $40. That's the other bit too.
Boo, money.
$40 on Shadow Tactics.
If you enjoy this type of game, you'll definitely get your money's worth. But otherwise,
that's the thing. I do enjoy this type of game, but you've soured me on it so deeply.
Yeah, it's. I was looking forward to this game, and it was kind of a disappointment to realize how difficult it was and how badly it controlled with a controller.
All right, we're batting 1 for 3, but dude,
hey man,
I'm gonna turn that around because the next. No, I'm not.
No,
it's
you're not.
Super Troopers 2. I got to check it out. And as a big fan of the original Super Troopers and